अच्छा, इनको को होस्ट बनाना है ना पहले तो। हरे कृष्णा कमलाक्षी माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हाँ माता जी, आई एम पुटिंग इन द चैनल।
यस माता जी।
Portuguese have not joined still. Portuguese. It's okay. We can go.
Hare Krishna, dear most Srila Gurudev. Please accept my most humble obeisances unto the divine dust of your lotus feet. We are very much fortunate to have your association continuously throughout this Kartik month. We also welcome all the devotees who have joined us for this Radha Sunya series. So for us today, we have day 24th where we are going to hear from Srila Gurudev about remaining Krishna conscious on the battlefield of life. That is the topic for the day. And before we start the session, we have a quick announcements that today's session is available in Portuguese and Hindi interpretations. You can click on the respective channels and join. सभी हिंदी भाषी भक्तों के लिए विशेष सूचना, वो ग्लोब आइकन को क्लिक करके हिंदी भाषा का चयन कर आज की कथा को हिंदी भाषा में सुन सकते हैं. As we have been doing, we'll keep a journal and pen with us to write our reflections and share it during the contemplation time. And yeah, I think these are certain announcements. So we can quickly start the session with a soulful bhajan. Today we'll hear Kothaya Go Premamai Radhe Radhe from the beautiful voice of Sharanagati Mataji. And yeah, Mataji, if you are here, Hare Krishna, yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev, Dandut Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev.
Hare Go.
कोथाय गोए प्रेमय राधे 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 गो जय राधे राधे कोथाय गोए प्रेमय राधे राधे गो जय राधे राधे देख प्रिय प्राण रख राधे 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 तोमर कंगल तो में डाके राधे 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 वृंदावन विलासिनी राधे 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 कानो मन मोहिनी राधे 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 अष्ट सखी शिरोमणि राधे 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 विश्वभानु नंदनी राधे 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 नियम करे सदा डाके राधे 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 गोसाई एही बार डाके केशी घाटे अब डाके बंशी बटे राधे 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 गोसाई एही बार डाके निधु बने अब डाके किशु बने राधे 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 गोसाई एही बार डाके राधा कुंडे अब डाके श्यामा कुंडे राधे 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 गोसाई एही बार डाके कुसुम बने अब डाके गोवर्धने राधे राधे हे राधे राधे गोसाई वाड़ डाके तल बने अब डाके कमल बने राधे 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 गोसाई मलिन वसना दिए गाए ब्रजेंदु लाय गदा गदी जय राधे 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 गोसाई मुखे राधा राधा बले बसे नयने रजले राधे 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 जय राधे राधे गोसाई वृंदावने कुली कुली कोड़े बेदर बेदया राधा बली राधे 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 गोसाई छप्पन दंड रात्रे दिन जाने ना राधा गोविंद बेले राधे 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 तारा परचारी दंड श्रुति सोपने राधा गोविंद के राधे 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 जय राधे राधे कोথায় গোয়ে প্রেমাই রাধে 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 গো জয় রাধে রাধে हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज जय वैष्णव ठाकुर गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज जय वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर आम्ही तुम्हारा कुकुर जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिल प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय शिल गुरुदेव निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौर परमानंद
Hari
ट्रांसलेशन
Hari Bol.
Translation Where is she who is full of prema? All glories to Shri Radha. O Radha, please give me your darshan and save my life. Your reserved beggar calls out to you Radhe Radhe. O Radha, you enjoy pleasure, pastime in the forest of Vrindavan, wherein you enchant the mind of Krishna. O Radha, you are the crest jealous among your 8 principal Sakhis. O Radha, daughter of Vishbhanu Baba, Raghunath Das Goswami was always calling out Radhe Radhe. Sometime at Keshi Ghat, sometime at Vanshivata, sometime at Nidhuvana, sometime in Seva Kunja, sometime at Radha Kunda, sometime at Sham Kunda, sometime at Kusum Sarovar, sometime at Giriraj Govardhana, sometime at Talvana, sometime at Tamalvana. Raghunath Das wears simple cloth which appears to be dirty because he is always rolling on the earth, crying out Radhe Radhe, calling out Radhe Radhe Radhe. His eyes are bursting with a flood of tears. He wanders throughout the lanes of Vrindavana crying out. He needs nothing but Radha Govind throughout the days and night 56 dandas, one dandas equal to 24 minutes. Radhe, Radhe. He takes rest of only 4 dandas, 1 hour, point 36 minutes. At that time in his dreams, he received darshan of Radha Govind, Radhe, Radhe. Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mataji.
you. Yeah.
It felt very soulful and very emotional. Thank you very much for this beautiful offering. Now we are ready to hear from Srila Gurudev about today's session. We request our dear most Srila Gurudev to please maybe start the session.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Kacharini Nirvishesha Sunya Pastatya Dekatarini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Kacharini Nirvishesha Sunya Pastatya Dekatarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Pura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gora Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gora Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Yudude, 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 Jaya Yudude, Jaya Jaya Yudude. Nitai Gora Hariyo, Hariyo, Hariyo Nitai Gora Hariyo. Jayam Vishnu Pat Paramahamsa Pariva Jakacharya Astur Sarasata Shishima Shri Divine Grace ISKCON Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Pat Paramahamsa Pariva Jakacharya Astur Sarasata Shishima Shri Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Divine Grace of Guru Kishore Bhaji Maharaj Jai. Praise Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopina Shyama Kund Radha Giri Gauravan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. यमुना माई की जाए, गंगेश माई की जाए, तुलसी देवी की जाए, भक्ति देवी की जाए, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जाए, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glory to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prita Bhuttara Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Namaste Krishna Padaya Pada Sitaname. Shri Gaurakarana Shakti Bhakti Tirtha. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jnana Salakaya Chakshula Militavya Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Uttapada Kamana Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadhutam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitancha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangira De Brindavaneshwari Brisavan Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priya Vanchakal Patare Vescha Kripa Sundhuvyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Teacher Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Maharaj Ki Jai. General Bhishma Dev Ki Jai. Eho Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. Another day. Radha Sunya. Radha Sunya. Missing mercy. So we have been trying to understand the danger of Aparadhas, so we can carefully avoid it in order to attain our desired goal, Krishna Prema, pure love of Godhead, and back home, back to Godhead. So we have been studying this beautiful book, Radha Sunya, by His Holiness Bhakti Tita Swami Maharaj. And on the 24th, we are focusing on how to remain Krishna conscious on the battlefield of life. How to remain Krishna conscious on the battlefield of life. Hare Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita is our story. It is a part of the process of devotion. And from time to time, everyone must be tested in various ways. When we take to devotional service, we are declaring war against Maya. We are on a battlefield, engaged in our own battle of Kurukshetra. We shouldn't read the Bhagavad Gita and think that it is merely some fascinating ancient history and philosophy. We should also understand that Arjuna is representing every person who is trying to take shelter of Krishna. Arjuna had to undergo bewilderment and serious choices, but Krishna was present to protect him. Yes, this is how we should look at our scripture. They are not novels like James Bond or Hadley Chase and or other whimsical modern literatures. These are directly persons and fully conscious of every one of us situation. Therefore, they are Krishna directly speaking to us. Srila Prabhupada was in Chandigarh to address the Rotary Club members. So Prabhupada said, "Ladies and gentlemen, You are welcome to this evening discussion on Bhagavad Gita. All of us have gathered here to hear what Krishna wants to tell us. This is the approach. What Krishna wants to tell us is in the Bhagavad Gita. So when we take Bhagavad Gita in our hands, we are preparing to hear not what Krishna is telling somebody else, but what Krishna is telling me. This should be the approach. So Gurudev is making it very clear. Arjuna is representing every person who is trying to take shelter of Krishna. So we should understand that Arjuna is not a conditioned soul. When you look carefully in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna had already declared Arjuna to be a good Akesh. It is one who has conquered illusion, one who is not bewildered. Arjuna had to undergo bewilderment and serious choices. Arjuna is good Akesh. Is a person who is not bewildered. But here he is bewildered. Means what? Krishna put him in this situation so that he will give us Bhagavad Gita through him. We should always remember that the questions Arjuna was asking Krishna, most of us will never be able to ask them, which is the sign of his not a bewildered person, but Krishna put him there so he could speak to us. So Krishna presented Bhagavad Gita to the whole world, to all living entities through Arjuna, who is Bhaktosmi Sakasi ji, a dear confidential friend and devotee of Krishna. This is the qualifications we need to understand Bhagavad Gita. Without these two qualifications, one cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. Yes, perfect example is Dhira. Krishna spoke this message. Krishna gave this message in between Arjuna and Dhira. Krishna was in the middle. Arjuna was able to hear everything completely in 30 minutes because he is a friend and a devotee of Krishna. And because Dhira is not a devotee and not a friend, he couldn't understand even one word. That is the situation. So to understand Lord Krishna, to understand Bhagavad Gita, we must be a devotee and a friend of Krishna like Arjuna. That's a qualification. If one wants to go to law school, one must be a graduate first. Undergraduate cannot go to law school. Similarly, if one is not a devotee and not a friend of Krishna, one cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. We saw the difference very clearly. Before Srila Prabhupada brought out to the world, openly to the world, Bhagavad Gita has been existing already. But nobody understood Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead until Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita came out. What was the difference? The difference is that Srila Prabhupada is a devotee and a friend of Krishna. Therefore, his Bhagavad Gita has the potency to deliver the whole world. Now we can see millions of people understanding the law, the science of karma and incarnation because of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. It's a qualification. So we are on the battlefield. And in another book, Gurudev explained, our battlefield is not physically on the battlefield, Kurukshetra in Haryana, India. Our battlefield is our own consciousness. That's our consciousness. And the target is what? The target is Maya. Gurudev said here, when we take to devotional service, we are declaring war against Maya. We cannot challenge a person to fight an enemy, and we think that the person will not take a weapon to face us. We're not going to beat our child. And even this in Kali Yuga, you beat the child, you'll be arrested in some places. And in some cases, the children are also beating their fathers now. I have seen many. I have friends whose children are beating their fathers. I know some people who are beating their father and their mother. So, we are not going to beat a humble child. We are going to fight with Maya, a formidable, pure devotee of Krishna, not a conditioned soul. This is our Kurukshetra, and every one of us are conscious. That means we have our battlefield to fight. Therefore, Krishna gave us the knowledge, the strength, every facility to help us overcome Maya. Daivi hiye shaguna maya durate mam eva ye proponenti maya metam tarantite. That is the only loophole for everyone to succeed. The Christian said, my divine energy, my external energy, divine energy, the divine energy of mind is very difficult to overcome. Very difficult. Only if someone surrender unto me, that I will make it easy to overcome that. Without surrendering to Krishna, one cannot understand. Krishna calls it Daivi Guna, divine energy. Divine energy. Daivi Maya. Divine. We are not discovered divine, although we are spirit souls. We are not declared here in Bhagavad Gita as divine. We are described as Nitya Buddha. Therefore, how can we fight a person who is thousands of times superior to us? It is not possible to fight that person and win. That is the only chance. That is only solution. Our chance to win is to surrender to Krishna. Next. Krishna is present, but we must fight. We will also have to undergo challenges and deal with all kinds of choices. But Krishna is always there for us too. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, we've been together since time immemorial. So you just sit back and watch me deal with all of these soldiers. You can go meditate and sit in your bhajan kutira while I destroy them all with my Sudarshan Chakra. No, Krishna explained the actual philosophy of life from all angles and then told Arjuna, now you must carry out your duty. You must carry out your duty. Yes, we have to deal with all the narratives we have accumulated in our consciousness. Because it is not Krishna who put all those narratives. We work tirelessly having sleepless nights, performing all kinds of austerity to acquire all these destructive narratives. Therefore, Krishna is simply giving us the tools how to personally work on all these narratives and remove them. That is our battlefield. We have to do our duty. Now you must carry out your duty. Our duty is to eliminate all the narratives we have accumulated in our consciousness. Our consciousness, the pure consciousness has become diluted by, not diluted, consciousness cannot be diluted, but it is covered over. Yes, covered over. We use the word, we have tirelessly worked day and night with a lot of austerity to acquire all these narratives. Therefore, it is not Christian duty, it is our duty to also work tirelessly, vigorously, day and night with the full austerity to eliminate all these narratives. That is the process. Although Krishna was present, Arjuna had to fight. Krishna is present for us also, but he wants his devotees to receive the credit by maintaining their devotion despite all difficulties that may arise on the battlefield. We are repeating because we want us to understand. We work tirelessly, vigorously, with all our strength, performing heavy austerity to acquire all the narrative that has covered our pure consciousness. So we have to consciously, vigorously, tirelessly, day and night, perform Bismuth Panchaka, Ekadasi Vrat, Kartik Vrat, Ayo Vrat, and all the Vrats to eliminate all these accumulated narratives. This is our duty. This is our duty. Therefore, Krishna is not telling us, hey, you are my eternal part and parcel. You are my eternal part and parcel. Therefore, all these things you have accumulated, just sit back and see how I destroyed because of our relationship as eternal part and parcel. No. We should know why austerity is necessary. Why is austerity necessary? We use austerity to accumulate all the sinful things that have covered our pure consciousness. Is it not? Is it not true that we made a lot of sacrifice, a lot of austerity to commit all the sinful activities? Is it very easy to gratify the senses? We work very hard, day and night, either to go and rob, to steal, or to manipulate and get some money to go and break principles. It's an austerity. Therefore, we will require the same austerity to get us free, to get us cleansed from these contaminations we have acquired. Tapasya eva param jyotim bhagwantam adhokshaja sababhuta guha bhasam vindati anjasa puman. Kapil Muni is teaching austerity is compulsory because we have performed austerity to commit all the sinful activities. Even to go and rob, people go to get some mystic power for them to go and rob, to go and kill people. People get some mystic power. We perform austerity. We go to hide. We scheme. All this austerity we perform plan how to rape somebody, how to cheat somebody. We perform austerity to do all these sinful activities. Why we will not perform austerity to get out of these sinful things we have done? That's the meaning. We must fight. We must fight. Even though we are part and parcel of Krishna, we must fight because we fought seriously to commit these sinful activities. We have to fight also seriously to rectify all these sinful things, the result of our sinful activities. Next. In the world, but not of it. In the world, but not of it. Krishna explains that such devotees are most dear to him. Sadhana mat parama bhakta titiva me priya. Yeah. Chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. Such a devotee is not affected by happiness or distress. Which devotee? Mat parama bhakta te tiva me priya. Yeah. Mat bhaktas, mat parama bhaktas. Yes. So devotees are not affected by happiness or distress because the austerity they have performed has eliminated all the dualities. Happiness and distress is duality. Mat para bhakta has removed himself or herself from the dualities. Therefore, one is not affected. Yes, not affected. Krishna does not say that a devotee is very dear to him who remains focused only when he provides all opulence, fame, security, comfort, etc. Rather, he makes it clear that the devotee who is unaffected by all kinds of reversals and difficulties is most dear to him. Yes. Yes. Bhagavad Gita. Yes. 2:15 also. Krishna said, Jamhi na vyatayantiete purusham purusha sarabha sama dukkha sukham dhiram so amrita tvaya kalpate. Amrita tvaya kalpate. Yes. What the Krishna said here? Oh, best among men, Arjuna. The person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So, Amrita Tvaya Kalpate. One who is suitable for liberation is what? Sukha. Sama Sukha. Sama Dukkha Sukha. Dhiram. Yes. So, Krishna placed the living entity in what? This is Dukkha and Sukha. Sama. One who is equal. Sama means what? One who is equal to happiness and distress is what? Dhiram. Dhiram. Therefore, he is eligible for liberation. Sa amrutatvaya kalpate. So here, Krishna did not say one who is fully joyfully qualified to go back to Godhead, or one is fully distressful is qualified to go back to Godhead. Krishna didn't say that because both of them are dualities. Krishna said what? Sama sukha dukkha dhiram. He is what? Sa amrita tvaya. Amrita tvaya kalpati. Eligibility. Eligibility for liberation is completely outside duality, dualities, completely outside dualities. Duality means what? Anarthas are still there. We have to eliminate them by austerity. Yes, we have to eliminate them by austerity. We cannot do otherwise. Anyone who is steady in his determination, properly saying this purport. Anyone who is steady in the determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization and can equally tolerate the onslaughts of distress and happiness is certainly a person eligible for liberation. Certainly eligible for liberation. Yes. Similarly, in Arjuna's discharge of duties as a Kshatriya, he is advised to persevere, even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at the age of 24, and his dependent, young wife, as well as his old mother, had no one else to look after them. Yet, for a highest cause, he took sannyas and was stayed in the discharge of higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage. Haribol. Haribol. Very beautiful. Yes. We can go back. Yes. That is where we are. Krishna will arrange many experiences for us. He has already arranged. In the midst of duality and strife, we should not become of the world, even though we may have to participate in worldly things or be situated in a materialistic environment. We should not give in to duality, even if others do. This is what makes the difference. This is what makes the difference. What difference? A person of character. Who is a person of character? A person of character, which is power, is one who does not give in, even if others are giving in. That's a character. I must do the right thing if people are seeing or people are not seeing. I should remain the same. That's a person of character, which is power. Yes, we are faced with all the reactions of the sinful deeds we have performed. All of us individually perform these things or collectively perform these things. Therefore, we shouldn't wait for somebody to do it. Because I'm not going to fight your battle. I can always support you, supply you with all the necessary strength, but I will not take your hand to do it. If we are hungry, helpless, if we are fortunate to have someone provide us with food, it is not the dodo person who gave us food that nice he or she should come and use his or her hand to feed us. We should now use our hand to eat the food. Yes, that is our duty. They have cooked, the person have helped us by providing a prasadam. Now we should honor it. Oh, no, you are so merciful. You are You are Patita Pavana. You are Patita Pavana. You are the savior. You are the hope, the shelter of those who are fallen. I am most fallen. You will never find a fallen person like me. That is fine. That is fine. But now, the food has been provided. I should eat it myself until when I am satisfied and I don't need to eat anymore. That is my duty. Yes, Srila Prabhupada gave one lecture and he was saying that all of us who are in our airplane, we have to fly it. That means that the airplane have been given to us, fueled, everything. It is made, it's fueled. Now we have to fly. Means that all the facilities are given to us. Now we should individually sit down and quietly, carefully chant the holy name of Krishna. We should sit down and carefully, seriously hear the qualities, the pastimes, the glories of Krishna and his pure devotees. That is our duty. We should do this. Let us do this. We should carefully plan how to execute our duties in Krishna consciousness. There will be a lot of distractions. Those distractions are necessary to check what is our focus in Krishna consciousness, check the quality of our focus in Krishna consciousness, to check how much we are ready in Krishna consciousness. That is why all those distractions are there. We should be careful to understand that nothing can come without the permission of Krishna. So those distractions that are played before us are all arrangement of Krishna. See how focused we are in our Krishna consciousness. It is not a mistake. It is not above Krishna. Yes. It is not. It is Krishna's arrangement. Yes. Going internal through reflections. Your personal Kurukshetra, 10 minutes. We are on a battlefield engaged in our own battle of Kurukshetra. Personal reflection. In what situation do I find it hardest to remain spiritually focused? 2. How can I see Krishna's presence even in my most challenging circumstances? Now, our discussion. How do we balance spiritual detachment with necessary worldly engagement? Wonderful. Haribo, wish you a wonderful deliberation.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we will now take 10 minutes of time to deliberate on these points in the breakout rooms. It is encouraged for all of us to spend first 5 minutes thinking deeply, and then each member of the group are encouraged to share their points in very brief, and then the representative of that group can present the points to Srila Gurudev. So you will see a prompt to join a breakout room. Please opt in. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody, for the reflection points that we have gathered through this breakout room. We will request the group representative to please raise your hands, and then we'll take them, we'll hear one by one. I don't see any other hand up, so probably I can go first for as a representative for my group, Srila Gurudev. So in the discussion, when we talked about what situations do I find hardest to remain spiritually focused, devotees shared that, let's say they are, feeling stress, or they are really pressured from office work. Let's say it's Ekadashi and they have some plan around reading more or practicing something extra, and their office work is also there. Sometimes these situations happen. Other devotees shared that when they are sick or some other provoking situations comes or some lusty thoughts come. And um, regarding the second question, like how can I keep Krishna's presence even in the most challenging circumstances? Devotees were able to feel Krishna's presence in almost every situation. That was so wonderful to hear. Devotees mentioned that Krishna gave us Srila Gurudev. He's with us 24/7. He helps us every moment. Any situation it is there, we have Srila Gurudev. So in that way, they are feeling Krishna's presence. Other devotees mentioned that in some challenging situations, there will some devotees who will call them to talk, or they will just request for a temple visit, or they will visit them at their home, and some arrangement will happen, and they will forget the challenging situation, and they will talk about Krishna's pastimes and glories. And one more devotee mentioned that whatever arrangement Krishna, whatever challenging situation we feel, it's nothing but sort of arrangement for us to learn and advance. And the discussion point, like how should we balance the spiritual detachment with worldly engagement? Devotees mentioned that if we are able to follow the guidelines as per Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra, then we are automatically in balance. And one more point was, let's say we have some worldly engagement, so we can try to be the best in that world wherever we are. Let's say working, we are leading something, we can try to be focused there while we are there. On the other times when we are practicing, we can be very mindful of our sadhana. So wherever we are, depending on the time, we can try to be very much focused and be the best version of ourselves at that point of time. In this way, we will automatically be able to maintain a balance between our worldly needs and spiritual, duties. These are the points that I wanted to share, Srila Gurudev. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you for sharing your realization, all of you. Very good.
We'll proceed ahead with Brahmani Mataji.
Krishna Gurudev, please accept my most humble obeisances unto your lotus feet.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear Gurudev, some of us have shared that where they find most difficulty to remain spiritually focused is in when they, instead of having great battles, they find it easier to depend on Krishna. But when there's small anarthas coming up subtly, some of our devotees are sharing that they have difficulty choosing how to act correctly. And some other devotees share that for them it's harder to remember Krishna in moments where they're very angry, because their mind focuses a lot on resolving their own issues, and they take a long time to realize that, oh, I thought in Krishna, I didn't think of Krishna in that moment. So this devotee shared this difficulty. And for another devotee, they said that seeing the hands of Krishna in things that are big is easier than seeing in smaller things. And then another devotee said that they felt more connected to Krishna in moments of difficulty due to feeling helpless and forgetful of Krishna in moments of enjoyment or joy or happiness. That devotee realized that their desires are actually them looking for Krishna. But when the person is experiencing those desires, they're not thinking of Krishna, only afterwards. So this is their challenge. Another devotee also shared that Mahatma Prabhu has commented before. This is about the balancing spiritual detachment and necessarily worldly engagements. Mahatma Prabhu commented that this imbalance is, for example, when we're succeeding well spiritually, but we're completely neglecting a duty that is materially obliged. Like he gave an example of, oh, I am managing the temple nicely, but because I'm neglecting my wife completely. So this is one of the challenges that many of us find. And one devotee also shared that for them to find a balance, they had to start to understand that these worldly engagements are actually their duty. So fulfilling their duty has to be offered to Krishna, and in that way they can be detached instead of thinking, oh, let me not take care of my family, let me just look into my spiritual life and not do what I have to do. Instead, they understand the weight of that duty, how heavy it is. So they put their energy into that, even though they're meditating on what else they could do, but they take that, they offer that to Krishna. So in that way, they can remember Krishna regardless of being involved in the worldly dealings. And another devotee shared that her faith and sincerity were tested in difficult times. So in those times, she experiencing the helplessness, she could realize Krishna more than in other situations. And to see Krishna's presence even in most challenging situations, it is important to be mindful that we are very helpless and we shouldn't try to do things on our own, because Krishna is the only person who actually knows what is behind all of that. So he's the one who can actually help us in every time, not our own capacity. Hare Krishna, Shri Gurudev. Thank you.
Haribo, thank you all very much for the sharing. Very nice.
Vishwambar Prabhuji, we are looking to hear from you next, please.
Hare Krishna, Sri Gurudev. Please accept my most humble obeisances unto the Rashtriya Divine Lotus Feet. Sri Gurudev, here the most devotees share their points that in what situation do I find hardest to remain spiritually focused. Some of the devotees share that during the situation when the mind is disturbed, means if in the previous day if they have done some activities, some sinful activities, then their mind is disturbed, it get affect our next day sadhana. Next, some of devotees share that during the time of illness, if they have any disease, physical ailment, then it also affects their sadhana. And during the time of aparadha, and next, if they have some material attachment, it is, and then at that time it is difficult to remain spiritually focused. And for the second, how can I see Krishna's presence even in most challenging circumstances? Means some of the devotees share the point that we have to see that whatever we are facing issues in our life, it is the mercy of Krishna to and to advance in our spiritual activity. And some of the devotees told that if our sadhana is strong, then then in that case also we can see the presence of Lord Krishna in our life. And some of the devotees told that by meditating on the life of our Acharya and Shri Gurudev, we can see the presence of Lord Krishna in most difficult, challenging situations. And for the third question, how do we balance spiritual detachment with necessary worldly engagement? Some of devotees told that if our sadhana is strong, then we can balance both spiritually and materially. And before some of devotees told that if we complete our sadhana before going out, then we will be successfully balance our spiritual detachment. And next, some of the devotees told that if we follow the some all the do's and don't that has been laid in the scripture, then we will be able to we can easily balance our spiritual detachment. And for some and also if we constantly engage our mind in devotional activity, just like Arjun in the Kurukshetra, then we will be also successfully balance our spiritual detachment with all the worldly engagements. Hare Krishna, Silver. Thank you, Silver.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. May I please request Krishna Mohini Mataji?
Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisance. So
Thank
the
you.
discussion for our group first. One devotee shared for the first question that when she go out in her workplace, outside the spiritual environment, it gets difficult to maintain and to remain spiritually focused. For the second, she said that she is doing good in her sadhana, and that's what keeps her and takes her easier to see Krishna's presence. For the discussion point, she mentioned that by being in touch with Guru's instruction, it helped her balance between detachment and worldly engagement. A devotee mentioned that not reading Srila Prabhupada's books um, is the cause, and for balancing, it is easier if she maintains a good sadhana while maintaining her prescribed duty. Other devotee mentioned for the first question that back-to-back challenges help her stay spiritually focused, while that she feels Krishna presence the most when she prays for other devotee, and that how Krishna immediately answer. So these were the discussion point for our group. Thank you so much.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank all of you for that contribution.
Hare Krishna. We have Vardhani Shukla Mataji to hear from next.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev, please accept my most humble and respectful obeisances unto your divine lotus feet.
Thank you.
Gurudev, for first question, devotees were mostly around that in what situations do I find it hardest? It was when we have very poor sadhana, when we don't chant properly, or when we wake up late and we are chanting and we are struggling throughout the day to complete our rounds. That is the most difficult. Then everything actually becomes a challenge. Cooking, cleaning, and all the services become very troublesome, and our mind is also not focused. So the main reason we feel is poor sadhana. And second is, how can I see Krishna's presence, Gurudev, when we don't do nice sadhana, or when we don't chant consciously, then it is very difficult to see Krishna's presence. Rather, we feel very irritated, and I personally feel that why all challenges are in my life, and everything becomes theory only. And for this, we also feel that if I will do some austerity with all seriousness, then material desires will go down, and then we can see the presence of Krishna. And for discussion, Gurudev, how do we balance spiritual detachment with necessary worldly engagements? For this, Gurudev, it becomes somewhat easy if our sadhana is good. If our sadhana is good, and and we are connected to Lord, and then we can see that yes, everything belongs to Lord. And Gurudev, from my personal realization, that I have seen that, for example, if I have done my rounds nicely, then I feel that this is Lord's home and I have to keep it clean. And most of the services I can do in that way. Uh, and Gurudev, one thing more, that when how I see Krishna's presence in challenging situation, that at that time Krishna tells me that if you are not able to chant, like for example, if I have a little fever, then my consciousness goes very down. Then then Lord tells me that if you are not able to chant with little fever, then how will you remember my name at the time of death? That time you will have so much of problem. So in that way, Krishna helps me, and sometimes I can see Krishna's presence. Thank you, Gurudev.
Haribo, thank you for your contribution. Very nice.
Thank you very much for all the reflections. We would now like to again proceed ahead with the slides.
The prayer of patience and endurance. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 8. We quoted the other day. Tati no kampam shusamik masa no bunjana iba adma kritan vipakan. Feedback by Wubiri Vida Dham Amaste Jibeta Yog Bhukti Pade Sa Daya Bak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Those who give in are like the student in school who cheat or don't study. Later, such people fail, but they have cheated themselves because they miss out on the opportunity to learn something which will have been of use. They cheat themselves. We must be careful not to play into a culture of cheating, deviation, and aparadhas just because it seems easier or is prominent in certain circles. There are always consequences for our behavior. The universe operates on spiritual laws. We cannot escape the result of our choices. That is sure. Karma Deva Nitrina. We have the right to do the activity. That freedom we have, but when it is done, we don't have the right to get over the result. The high authorities will decide. The high authorities, they decide, not we. I give an example the other day when a devotee willingly misbehaved. And then he's telling me, oh, they don't punish me, just forgive me like that. Yes. I'm your son. I'm just honest to tell you, so don't punish me, just leave me like that. It is not in our scripture. What is our scriptures here? Yes. What is that? When we do something wrong or good, we have no more power over the result. The result will come from the higher authorities. So we cannot decide. So if we don't learn our lessons in the school, if we don't learn our lesson, and they bribe the examiner or whoever to do exam for us, that will be fine. We can cheat like that, but when it is time for us to perform, How can we cheat? So whom have we cheated? Is it somebody else or is the self? It is the self, because now it's the self who is going to perform. And how will he perform something you don't know? So we are simply cheating ourselves, and we should not do that. We should not do that, because we are simply disturbing ourselves. Let us do the right thing. By doing the right thing, when it is said here, the kingdom of God becomes one's rightful claim. It is the rightful because you have paid the price. If you don't pay the price, you cannot claim. It is a rightful claim. The rightful claim because you have done the part nicely. If one has traveled for a business, and if it is nicely performed, one has a good result. We will enjoy it. We're not going to give it to somebody. We will enjoy it. Yes. All right. Realization through contemplation. Continue your 30-day notebook for today's focus on battlefield consciousness. Every morning before facing your day, pray this out loud. Morning prayer. Krishna, today I face difficulties. Some are reactions to my past karma. Some are tests you have given me. I don't know which is which, but I am not asking you to remove them all. I'm requesting for strength to remain conscious of you while I patiently endure whatever comes. Like Arjuna, I will fight my battle. But if you so desire, kindly stay with me. That's all I need. Evening prayer. Krishna, today I face specific difficulty. Did I remain conscious of you? Yes. No. Sometimes. Tomorrow I will try again. I'm learning patience, endurance. 4. Keep me on this battlefield, but please don't let me forget you are here. The reflection. This week, the prayer helped me when blah 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 blah. Hare Krishna. Very good. Bhakti meditation. Krishna consciousness means being conscious of Krishna in all circumstances, using all situations to become more Krishna conscious. Haribu. Haribu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you so much, Srila Gurudev, for this enlightening session. We are very grateful. So we'll now open the floor for questions, Srila Gurudev. There are certain questions pending from yesterday's session. Is it okay if we take them first, Srila Gurudev?
Yes.
So the first question is from His Grace Vishnumurti Sevak Prabhuji. He wants to know how to consider cooking, serving, or honoring prasadam to be something very great. As Srila Gurudev, you mentioned in one of the pastimes about Srinivas Acharya, where he distributed prasadam to 10 brahmanas. And he have one more follow-up question. He want to know how to tolerate and perform loving service for Srila Gurudev. Yeah, this is the question.
To tolerate, you have to learn to understand what is tolerance. What is the benefit? What is the benefit of tolerance? Why should I tolerate? Why? Why I should tolerate? For what purpose? You should know that. We have spoken about this so many times. Simple. If we don't tolerate, we just suffer. That's all. If we don't tolerate, we just suffer. That's all. There's no second part to it. In 1 minute, 1 second tolerance can save one from 100 years in jail. 1 minute tolerance, 100 years in jail. One can be saved. Just 1 moment, second, 1 minute tolerance. So powerful. If we don't tolerate, we should just be ready to suffer. That's all. There's nothing more than that. So we should know why we should tolerate. Because nothing depends on me. For example, if you don't tolerate winter, can you call summer to come? Can anyone do that? No, I don't want winter. I want summer. Can anyone do that? You have to tolerate it. Winter, yeah. I like summer. Winter should go now. You have to wait. You have to tolerate. Can anyone change it? No, so you have to tolerate. That's how important tolerance is. We don't tolerate, we miss everything. We miss everything, put ourselves always in anxiety, always in problem. Why? Because intolerance means passion. Passion. Passion means anxiety, frustration, worries, complication. That is passion. Goodness means tolerance. Because there's knowledge. That's it. Oh, the first part. What's the first part of the question?
Srila Gurudev, Prabhuji wants to know how to consider cooking, serving, or honoring prasadam to be something very great. As in one of the past time you were mentioning about Srinivas Acharya, where he was serving 10 brahmanas joyfully.
Okay, very simple. Very, very simple. Very simple. I don't know how many of us here will go for book distribution tomorrow if there's no prasad. You're going to do your daily worship, no prasad. How many people will do it for 2 days? No prasad. If you want to talk of Bismarck Panchak, people Bismarck Panchak. Hey, Ekadasi. Oh, Ekadasi. Ekadasi is not a threat. Ekadasi is not a threat. Ekadasi is wonderful. Krishna personally designed Ekadasi to help us attain him easily. She's not a threat. But some people don't want to hear Ekadasi. Or some people don't want to hear Ekadasi because on Ekadasi they eat more than other days. That is condition so exploiters always want to exploit, and we get exploited because we don't have power to exploit. We will get exploited by material energy. That's what is happening. So cooking, we need food to give us the strength to do our sadhana, to do whatever. So if one think that cooking is useless, cooking is useless. The book distribution is the best. Yes, Brahmana. I'm going to preach to the professors. I'm going to preach at university. I'm going to meet the scientists. Okay, go and meet them. When they come back, then no prasad. So you go tomorrow? No, prasadam is a spiritual food. Prasadam is spiritual for Krishna's mercy. When you say prasadam means what? Krishna's mercy. Krishna's mercy. The Bhakti Thakur tells us Krishna's mercy should be honored. It's Krishna's mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the house of Goridas Pandit in Jagannath Puri, the Chaitanya who said, anyone who take this Mahaprasadam Jagannath, Lord Brahma is looking for it. Lord Shiva is looking for this Mahaprasad. You take this Mahaprasadam, you get pure love for Godhead. So is that a common thing? Something will give a pure love for Godhead. That's common? That's cheap? Is it meant for common people, for useless people? Prasadam is rare. Very rare. Krishna's mercy is very, very rare. Forget you go to the kitchen and cook your rice and eat. That's a different thing. Prasadam is different. Different. So it's very, very important to take prasadam for purification. When Haradas Thakur was leaving the body, he was fasting, he was not eating. But the prasadam was brought to him. He said, now prasadam, he said, the mercy of the Lord has come. How can I say no? Even though he doesn't want to eat. Haradas Thakur offer obeisance to the prasadam and continue his fasting. That's a full respect. These are Tattva Vidas. Those who knows, they have full respect, appreciation for prasadam because they know what it is. Yes, we're Bhakti Thakur says to take it to our full satisfaction and glorify the Lord. Nitai Gauranga, Radha, Krishna. That's what we should do. We are becoming, and then because it's so important, so very high and pure. Also, we have to avoid offenses of prasadam. Otherwise, we get good problem. To step on prasadam is an offense. To step over prasadam is offense. To talk on prasadam is also an offense. All that disrespect. And when we have the heavy consequences. So many devotees, when they're taking prasadam, they have to talk, they have a heavy discussion. It's an offense. It's one of the reasons why we are not making advancement. One of the reasons why I don't like to eat with people, especially senior devotees. They would never eat without talking. That is the time you have a serious discussion, taking prasadam. His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj said we should meditate. We should be mindful in taking prasadam. Be mindful. Mindful in taking prasadam requires 6 considerations. 6. A person who get the money for Bogart, the person who has gone for the Bogart, the person who cook it, the person who is serving it, the person who offer it to the deities, the Guru and Krishna. Now, the person who is taking it, mindful means that we should appreciate all these people. The person doesn't just draw from the air. Heavy sacrifices have been made for us to have a plate of prasadam before us. Heavy sacrifices have been made. Mindful prasadam means you should respect you should appreciate all these personalities. And we are just making noise and offending Prasadam, talking over Prasadam. How is it mindful? We are talking. That is why, to check us, to protect us, to help us from these offenses, some temples, they have one devotee to read while we are taking prasadam. It is to help us become inoffensive, to have a focus and respect for prasadam. It's a culture we are using those days, but this time we don't see it again in temple. We don't see it. Only noise and shouting that you get these days. Very, very bad. All right. Next question.
Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev. We have a question from Raksha Bhatt Mataji. It is related to the previous sessions where we discussed about forgiveness. She want to know, Gurudev, if someone have committed heinous crime and not feeling bad or repenting, so in this case, is forgiveness a right choice?
Forgiveness is when a person has begged for it. When the person has begged for it, we forgive the person. That is from our side. We should forgive the person. Because we also want to be or need to be forgiven. So we should forgive. But Krishna will not forgive. Krishna will take serious action. Even if the pure devotee or whatever, the devotees have forgiven us, Krishna will still punish us. And the other day we gave the reason. We gave the reason why we should forgive. We mentioned someone has done a heinous crime. Should we forgive the person or the person? It has happened, it has happened. We will remove our mind for it. But we are very careful not to expose ourselves for anything to uncultured, demonic people. So be careful. Not expose anything to them. We remove our mind from it. But we should plan that we don't allow that to happen next time. But Krishna will not forgive. Krishna will take heavy action. Yes, tit for tat. That is Krishna. Next.
Thank you, Srila Gurudev. Next, we have Gitanjali Mataji. She has a question, wants to know if a long practicing devotee gets deviated for some other sampradaya, let's say Gaudiya Math, what can be done to get him back?
You can talk to the person if you can. If you can, then you talk to the person. If you cannot, then you pray. Pray for the person's success. If you can get pure love for Godhead there, Haribol. That's all we can do. We should pray for the person.
All right. Thank you, Gurudev. One last question from yesterday is from Vaishali Mataji. She wants to know if a person is a non-devotee but belongs to a family and is elder and is invading a personal space which seems wrong to us but right to them, how can we seek forgiveness? And even if I don't feel it from my heart, then also how we can ask for forgiveness, given they are invading.
If you don't feel it from the heart, how will you ask for forgiveness? You cannot ask for forgiveness when you have not seen anything wrong with what you have done. You ask for forgiveness only when I feel that I have done something wrong. Then I can go and beg, please excuse me. But you cannot beg when you feel that I didn't do anything wrong. No. Even if you are told, You just feel that you are just disturbing yourself. I didn't do anything wrong. You are just disturbing yourself. But only if I feel that I've done something wrong, I'm sorry for what I have done. So we cannot beg for forgiveness when you don't feel anything. Until we feel something, then we can beg for forgiveness. Mm. And whoever the person, either it's sin or jinn, or just don't do anything wrong. No, it's wrong. You should beg for forgiveness. It's for our own benefit to do that. If we want to move forward. If you don't want, then it's okay. There are many of us who are destined to suffer more and more. For those of us who are like that, nothing will work for us. To give example the other day, Lord Shiva and Parvati were a beggar who was begging. Yes. Next.
Thank you, Srila Gurudev. Next, we'll start from the raised hands. Dayarup Shama Mataji. Maybe please request you to unmute and have your question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble wishes. So my question is very tiny. I have this question, Maharaj, that like from tomorrow when we start fasting for Bhishma Panchak, whoever is doing the level 1, can they drink water? And about the milk, when we are drinking milk on the third day, so can we boil or add sugars on that, or simply we have to just drink boiled milk like that, Maharaj? And what should our mood in 5 days? What should be our contemplation? This was my first question, Maharaj. And the second question was, what is the meaning of Srila? When we say Srila Prabhupada or Srila Gurudev, I don't know this meaning of Srila, that I want to know from you, Maharaj.
Srila is respect. It's, you say Sri is opulence for woman, but Srila is for a man. It is a respect. And it's an opulence also. It's a Sridham. It's a Sridham. That is, we're referring to Srimati Ravana. And for man, we're referring to her associates. Srila. We're showing respect. The higher person. For Bhishma Panchaka, what to eat? No grains or beans. And even if you want to eat, it should be sunset, not in the morning, not afternoon. It should be sunset. And if you want to go the details, we have explained the other day. Once you decide what we want to eat for this period, if you want to take only fruit, you should take only fruit, but it should be sunset. If you want to eat once, then you should eat once, still one sunset. But if you want to go into detail, and people I saw in my people how they do it, it is really not fasting. Heavy food. Heavy food. You like eating heavily. So it is not at all fasting. So these are the things to do. Dasami. Fasting till sunset. Then eat no grains. Every day eat once only after sunset. Eat fruit, fresh and dried nuts. Boiled roots like potato and sweet potato. Okay, to eat. It's okay to eat ghee, ekadasi salt, black pepper, and ginger. No other spices can be taken. Continue this diet every day until Purnima. This is the last day for it. During the Ekadasi day, half teaspoon of cow dung. Then eat only once after sunset. Half teaspoon of cow dung. Want to do that? I didn't mention this all this day, but I repeatedly asking. I don't know how many people are interested to do this. Yeah, going to take time to do all these things. Half teaspoon of cow dung on the currency day. That's tomorrow. If you want to break a currency, for me, that is breaking a currency for me. Because when I say Nirjala, it is Nirjala for me. Even that one, I don't do full water. It's just like a little drop I drop my hand for Dwachan for the currency and for these days. But if you want to do that, you can go ahead. And that should be in the sunset. Then you can eat dry nuts or fresh, whatever, boiled root, a potato, sweet potato, with the ghee. If you want to do that, it's okay. You can do that. You can take fruits and dry fruits. That is not dry nuts. It's okay. You can do that. And the currency. So if you want to go further, then you can. If you cannot do this, then eat munifal, apple, papaya, banana, musambi. So you can take this one if you want, and if this fruits, if you want to take them, you can take. If that is your interest. Sayodasi breaking. You have to fast with tulasi leaf and water. Breakfast with tulasi leaves and water. Then drink lemon water with mishri if you did nirjala brat. And how will you do that if you have taken vow not to eat sweet for this period? How will you do that? If you take mishri, it is sweet. So you're breaking already mildly. You're doing it mildly. Better simple thing, take fruit and water if you want. The sunset. For the remaining days, for these few days, we have 5 days. We are doing starting from today. So and then they are starting tomorrow. We have 4 days only. So you can start tomorrow. If you want to do that, you should do. Breakfast with the chanamrita or few cashew nuts. You can chew that. Almonds or raisins, and then drink 50 milliliter of cow urine. 50 milliliter of cow urine. Right? It's easy to drink cow urine. Is it easy? Very difficult. Yeah, you asked me, so you should do it because you are asking me repeatedly. I said it before the currency. And devotees also have the nature to try to find way to manipulating. And I'm very difficult to overcome like that. Yeah, very difficult to overcome like that. I stand on my thing. When I say something, I stand on it. But when you are asking, so you should do it because you're asking. You should take out 50 milliliter. 20, yes, you should take that 50 milliliter iron. Eat the recommended food once a day after sunset. Also, eat ghee once after sunset. After sunset, eat recommended food. We already mentioned potatoes and banana, papaya. Or don't decide for these 5 days, I'll take only papaya and water. Don't do something simple. Maybe save the time. Right? So banana is there, papaya is there, apple is there. So this you can take once a day. Then some water. But this is sunset, not in the morning. Then you are on the way. Yeah, on the way. We do that until the last day. The last day, which is the end of Kartik, end of Chaturmasya, disappearance, Bhismade, Nimbarkacharya, wedding of Tulsi Devi. And it is 11:45. We end 11:45. 11:45, then you can prepare everything. Please don't forget to give a gift. We mentioned it in the beginning. You must give something valuable. Not gold, not diamond. And if you want to give to a Brahmana, that's gold and diamond, that's only for Brahmana, but not just everybody. And if you are so rich, you want to give gold to everybody, Haribo, that is your choice. Charity is given according to your level, not by force. Not by force. Otherwise, it's no more charity. This is a burden. All right.
Thank you so much, Srila.
Yeah, Bismarck Project is already here. We have started our own. We already started here. So some people will start tomorrow. We are very fortunate. We have 5 days. You have 4 days. How do you do? We are more sinful, so we have 5 days. Okay. We are less sinful. So you have 4 days. Actually, 3.5 days. Because you're going to break now. On the last day is afternoon. Before 12, you can drink something. Start with something light. Don't go and now, the whole varieties of chapatis, 10 chapatis. You have a stomach problem, you go to hospital. So drink something liquid, lime. Mozambique or limbu. Then you can use mystery. You can add mystery or honey. Now all the things we forbid, you can eat them. Then you should eat food later after 12. Well, before 6, you must eat something, all the solid food. Then it's complete. All right?
Yes, thank you so much, Srila Gurudev. We have 2 more questions. Shweta Mataji,
Yes.
can we please hear from you?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, my Dandavat Pranam, humble obeisances on to you.
Thank you.
Guru, firstly, thank you for everything, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because of saints like you, we are getting something. Otherwise, we are not so qualified or not so great to access. Guru Maharaj, my question is that we know all that lust, greed, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, matsarya are in us. In somebody it is more, somebody it is less. So, especially my question is regarding lust. So, how can we uproot these? I know you answered in previous classes some time back, but I couldn't understand everything. I could understand very little. But nowadays, this question traps me because we come across situations where we get victim of Maya or we get victim of these things. So, how to uproot these things?
You cannot approve it, you can only purify it. Because loss is opposite of pure love of Godhead. Every living entity has pure love, originally, naturally. So we cannot uproot pure love from the heart because it's part of the soul. Like desire, you cannot uproot desire. It is the soul. It's the component that makes the soul. So pure love is a component that makes the soul. That is what the soul is made of. Like we have the ingredient for making something. Rasgulla has ingredients, right? Milk, right? Sugar. So also the soul is made of pure love, desire, because it's a soul. It is cheta, conscious, it must be active. So we have adulterated this pure love, what we call now lust. So we have to purify it. We were discussing before that we work very hard, perform a lot of austerity to become sinful. Therefore, we have to do heavy austerity to also become pure. So now we have to purify the loss by transforming it, by transformation. To begin the process, we must treat everyone kindly, nicely. Everyone must be treated nicely. The attitude of caring should be developed in us. You cannot go to hospital to go and get some tonic to purify it for that. The tonic to do this is the process of transformation. How to purify it. Those of us who doesn't care for people, cannot even greet somebody, you cannot even say hello to people, don't care for people, don't see someone as a person. In personalism, you say, you can't be free from lust. It cannot. It can be whatever level you think Brahma realized. But if you don't appreciate the soul and think that the soul is ordinary, loss is still prominent. You can transform it by beginning from loving everybody. From loving everybody means start. Whoever is next to us, our neighbor, we must treat the person, whoever is next to us, kindly. Whomever we come in contact with, should treat that kindly. We should start from that. Then the heart will be becoming softer and softer and softer. And that's how the loss be transforming. Gradually, all the layers should be going out and out and out. We start loving people, start treating people with the care, as a person valuable, with full respect, to care. See, people who are very selfless, who are ready to care for people at the expense of their own pleasure, you don't see them with lust. They are free, they are happy. That's the beginning. So it should begin from there. Treat people kindly. You see, His Holiness, He will sign His letter with love. With love. And people understand love with sex. Sex is completely different. Love is completely different. But we mix them together in the material. And that is a confusion.
So sex is sex is a lust, Guru Maharaj.
Sex is different. It's not lust. Sex is different. It is love. It is not lust. It's our own foolishness. We equate them. That is why we are making big mistake. Sex is different completely. What the Christians say in Barugita? The Christians say in Barugita, I am what? Sex life which is not contrary to religious principle. Is that lost? Is that lost? I'm asking you, straight-eyed. Did you hear that in Barugita? I'm quoting Barugita.
They think anything before marriage is lost.
Christians, you should not hear your mind. You should hear what Christians say in Barugita. I am sex which is not contrary to religious principle. That's what Krishna considered. Not your mind. You are talking about your mind. That is not the meaning of lust or meaning of sex. Sex is different from lust. Love is different from lust. They are separate things. We add them together. And then we are miserable because you don't know. We are doing something you don't know. You can't do it properly. Right? We don't know something. We don't know something about sex. How will you do it nicely? It is not bodily activity. Sex is not bodily activity. It is a soul activity. A soul to soul activity. That is sex. It's not lust. It's different from lust. Lust means what? The body is acting, not the soul. Therefore, you do bodily activity, you suffer. If you do soul activity, you cannot suffer. Soul activity, soul to soul, Krishna to Krishna, cannot suffer. Did you see in Bhagavatam that the gopis, they have contraceptive tablets? Did you hear that? They have contraceptive? Does that exist in Goloka, in Vrindavan? No. Why? Because there's nothing like sex in their life. And nothing like lust in their life. It's a lovely exchange. In a Vedic culture, you don't see people don't say, let's have sex. It's Saturday will say, I place the seed in the womb. They don't use the word sex. I place the seed in the womb. That's the word they use. You see that in Bhagavatam, in our scriptures. But we are very, very gross, very rough. Everything about this is contamination. That's why we are suffering. How did Srinivasa Acharya came? How did he come? The parents were already old. Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya. Yes, Lakshmi Priya. That's the Srinivasa Acharya's mother. Lakshmi Priya and Chaitanya Das. Chaitanya Das used to go to Lord Jagannath every day and beg Lord Jagannath to give him a son. And that Chaitanya Das was mentioned to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent a disciple to call for Chaitanya Das. But then he had left Jagannath, he went to a different place. They have to send for him. And he came. He's married. One day the wife told him, Prabhu, I think the Lord wants us to have a child. Chaitanya Das said, what? What? You're still thinking of sex? He said, no, I'm not thinking. I'm telling you, the Lord wants us to have a child. Come on. This is lost. I'm telling you, there's no loss in my heart. I've forgotten about it for a long time. For a year now, I've forgotten. But the Lord wants us to have a child. Okay, let's go and confirm it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent for him. After begging, praying seriously to Lord Jagannath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was praying to Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. He was praying to Jagannath. I want a devotee. To continue with my mission. Lord Jagannath told him. Then Chaitanya, a devotee Chaitanya, had been asking for a child since. That child should come through him. So is that sex? I'm asking you. Is that sex? That is pure devotional service, pure Krishna consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally and Lord Jagannath, they personally arranged for Srinivasa Acharya to come. And these two devotees are qualified. They are suitable, they are pure devotees, they are qualified to be another pure devotee. So the child from pure devotee is devotional service, it's not punishment. See, Lord Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought Srinivasa Acharya in the womb of Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya. Is that sex or devotional service? That is pure Krishna consciousness. That is how we should act. All right? Yes, we can do it tomorrow. I think we have gone above our time. Let us close for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Hari Hari Bol. Is it clear? All of you understand what is loss, what is sex, what is devotional service? Thank
Yes.
you. Now we should do devotional service, not sex. Do devotion, not a bodily activity. Should do soul to soul activity. And you bring many Rupa Goswamis, Sanatana Goswamis, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami. You bring Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit, Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Vijay Baldev Bude Bhushan, Jagannath Babaji Maharaj, Gaur Kishadar Babaji Maharaj, Narada Muni, Sukadev Goswami. You bring all these people here, and our ISKCON will become Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, dear devotees, for staying us along on this 24th day of our continued series on Radha Sunya. We'll see you soon, tomorrow at the same time in Bhisham Panchak and in Ekadashi. That's all. We'll wind up the session with a bhajan.
শুদ্ধ ভকত চরণ রেণু ভজনয় শুদ্ধ ভকত চরণ রেণু ভজনয় ভকত সেবা পরম সিদ্ধি প্রেমলতি কারণ ভগত সেবা পরম সিদ্ধি প্রেমলতি কারণ শুদ্ধ ভগত চরণ রেণু ভজনয় তিথি ভক্তি জননী যতনে পালন করি কৃষ্ণ বসতি বসতি বলি পরময়াদরে মাধব তিথি ভক্তি জননী যতনে কৃষ্ণ বসতি বসতি বলি পরম আদরে বলি শুদ্ধ ভকত চরণ রেণু ভজনয় যে সব স্থানে করিল ভ্রমণ রঙ্গে সে সব স্থান হেরিব আমি প্রণয়ী ভকত সঙ্গে Hare শুনি আনন্দে হৃদয় নাচে। মৃদঙ্গ বাদ্য শুনিতে মন অবসর সদা যাচে। ভুল বিনীত কীর্তন শুনি আনন্দে হৃদয় নাচে। শুদ্ধ ভগত চরণ রেণু ভজন যুগল মূরতি দেখিয়া মন পরম আনন্দ হয়। প্রসাদ সেবা করিতে হয় সকল প্রপঞ্চ জয়। যুগল মূর্তি দেখিয়া মন পরম আনন্দ হয়। প্রসাদ সেবা করিতে হয় সকল প্রপঞ্চ জয়। শুদ্ধ ভগত চরণ রেণু ভজন যেদিন গৃহে ভজন দেখি গৃহেতে গোলক হয়। চরণ সিধু দেখিয়া গঙ্গা সুখ নাশি মা পায়। যেদিন গৃহে ভজন দেখি গৃহেতে গোলক হয়। চরণ সিধু দেখিয়া গঙ্গা সুখ নাশি মা পায়। শুদ্ধ ভগত চরণ রেণু ভজন তুলসী দেখি জুড়ায় প্রাণ মাধব তোষণে জানি। গৌর প্রিয় সাপ সেবনে জীবন সার্থক হয়।